Hello, hello, beautiful friends, and welcome back. This is my channel. I'm Tara Kinden. For those of you who have been here for a very long time, thank you so much for sticking around and paying attention and learning as you go to integrate this energy into your life. I love to talk about human design and astrology and making it really simple for you to comprehend and understand how these beautiful planets show up energetically within your unique body and energy system. So, for those of you who are brand new, welcome. I hope you stay a while. I hope you learn something that helps you be more powerful in your life. I love working with multi-passionate women who are very powerful. They know they have this undeniable strength and they're looking for ways to bridge the gap between, the cosmos and their creativity so that they can achieve a wonderful unbounded success. So let's get started. Today, I want to talk to you about the astrology for the new moon that's happening on February the 9th. This is also the Lunar New Year, and we are moving into a dragon year. And this is the wood dragon. So this is where everyone's fire is really going to be lit. There's going to be this element of excitement and inspiration. We also have all planets direct right now. So there is this let's get things done building, which I don't think we all started with in January, but now we're really feeling the motivation to take it to where it needs to go. So we're going to look at the astrology, then we're going to look at the human design and something new I'm going to try. So you're going to want to stay around till the very end is that I'm going to go specific into each aura type to let you know some ways you could navigate the energy of this particular new moon and how it may show up for you. If you're like, Tara, what is an aura, an energy aura, energy type, aura type? It's your human design type. So you're either a manifestor, manifesting generator, projector, or reflector. And I'm going to get real specific at the end for how you might want to work with the energy that's coming from this beautiful new moon. So let's get started. And we are going to first look at the astrology so you have an idea of what's what. So for those of you who have never seen an astrology chart before, this is the chart of the new moon in Aquarius. Yes, it says 21 degrees. It's actually happening at 20 degrees, 40 minutes. And when you see the sun and the moon together, this is what it looks like as a new moon in the chart. Now, everyone who comes here is in a different level of understanding with their astrology and their human design. So just feel into what I'm saying. How does it feel? How does it land for you without needing to know all the things? You don't need to know all the things. And my goal is to keep it as simplistic as possible. So you're like, oh, I totally feel that. Yes, I relate to what she's saying and how this is landing for me. So let's look at the challenges that are happening here to help us. Okay. So this beautiful new moon is making what we call a square to Uranus. Uranus has been hanging out in Taurus for some time now, and he's been really challenging us to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And this has been a very hard thing for most people to do because most of the population likes to have a sense of stability, security, and comfort. Well, that's been a challenge over the last few years. So we're learning how to get uncomfortable and still find ourselves in that discomfort. Now, when we look at squares, it's a 90-degree angle. So you think about that every time you are in a seated position and you have to get up, that square helps you move up, lifts you up, propels you forward, gets you moving. Anne Orley said that once. I thought that's such a beautiful way to describe a square because we need that little bit of challenge to move us forward. So what is this doing is if you think about the new moon energy happening in Aquarius, there's this element of communication, technology, getting out there to the masses, a new way of doing things. It's like the airwaves, it's how our message travels with Mercury in here as well, which I want to just talk about for in a minute. But while we're looking at the square to Uranus, it's like, as a Uranus being a little bit of a rogue entrepreneur, I mean, he is encouraging us to really expand our horizons and try new things, especially if it comes down to business ideas, innovations, new technologies, new ways of creating safety and structure and stability in our lives, being that Uranus is in Taurus. He's also shaking us out of what we have found comfort in, but we're finding new ways to become comfortable. Now let's talk about Pluto, because Pluto has now entered Aquarius. He is in brand new territory. He has never been here before. You have never experienced this energy before. And as I'm recording this, which is February the 5th, he is meeting with Mercury. Okay, so you can see this chart now. This is days later. Mercury's now moved away, but there was something that the god of the underworld, that the god of death, transformation, and rebirth, is bringing up for us, bringing up to the surface for us to really pay attention to. What is being communicated to you this week? Because that hit on Monday. Now, this new moon is on Friday. So there was something that in the way you communicated or are still communicating, or maybe there was something that you didn't say that is kind of bubbling. Okay. So as it bubbles up, the reason for this is to help you get it out, say what you need to say in a way that is transformative, that speaks to, you know, the masses that you are involved in. This can just be within your home, within your work environment, within your social media, you know, community, whatever it is. There's something you need to say, and this is the time to really say it. But, you know, it may be a little bit challenging. It may be challenging, especially towards the end of the week, because then we're going, like when this new moon hits, we're going to have Mercury making a square to Jupiter. Okay. Remember, Jupiter only wants to bless and expand, good or bad. So what are you thinking about? Because whatever you're thinking about is in a massive expansion. Either way. So this is where if something came up on that Monday that caused a little bit of a spin out for you, and you're sort of running on that track, you know, when you get on the hamster wheel and like something happened and now it's become this big thing, and you're not even talking to the person that's involved with it, you're just talking to yourself and it's running around on a loop. Well, this can be that challenge, okay, where Jupiter says, oh, you want more of that? Okay, no props. I'll give you more of that. Let your mind on fire. Remember too that Aquarius is an air sign. So it is very much in the mind, in the way we're thinking. And of course, Mercury being there, it's like communicating from that place. So you may have a thought and just barf it out. Meanwhile, you probably should have sat on it for a hot second before you said it. So just watch this energy, because there may be a minute where you just go, bah, and people are traumatized. Okay. Pay attention to that. I will also say that this beautiful new moon is making a trine to the south node, which is an element of letting something go. What are we releasing? What are we letting go? What do we need to move away from? And in Libra, right? So that south node in Libra is like relationships, balance, justice, equality. Where are the scales out of balance? And where do we need to bring them back into balance? Okay. So those are the things I wanted to bring to your attention. We got like a couple squares giving us some challenges, but we also have some beautiful trines, and trines are a positive aspect, bringing in, you know, a gift, bringing in something lovely and beautiful for us, making it easier, right? So that's just a little bit of that for the astrology. Now let me stop the share, come back to you and share with you the human design chart. So this is the lovely chart we're working with. I've also added in Chiron, because Chiron is a big player and we're moving towards this chironic energy that's happening for all of us around the 16th of February. So when you look here, okay, for those of you who are brand new to human design, this is the body graph. This is your either your defined centers. These are centers. Then you've got gates. Then you've got channels. All you need to know is your type, authority, and strategy to get things going. Okay. So if you have never pulled your chart before, send me a message and I'll help you do that. This chart particularly is a mental projector. So the energy that, you know, we're all going to be feeling a little taste of in some way, shape, or form is this mental projector. A mental projector, you know, that's the authority here, is thinking about you have to be able to process the things yourself, and sometimes you have to speak them out loud in order to come to your own conclusion. It's not like you need to survey people to get your answer. It's just that you need to be able to like talk it out, so some people who have this natally, they're constantly like, they talk themselves into their own understanding and decision, which is perfect. But sometimes you're like, wait, what? Am I even part of this conversation? So we're all going through this energy and experience while we're under this new moon. Now, that 2-5 energy is where we do need some retreat time. We need some alone time to decompress, to think. And then we've got the 5. That's the 2 wants us to go in. The 5 is like, it has a challenge with the projection field. Like people will just like throw things on you and assume you're going to do these things when you're like, wait, I never signed up for this. What the heck? Or it's this place where you're either the hero or the villain. It's just this kind of weird energy. For those of you with a 5, I have a 5. It's an odd energy to play in and to understand, but just know that, and I think this is true for this whole chart, it's like the more we are able to get really clear on the things we're thinking about and the way we're speaking them into being, that it's going to be an easier new moon. Not that it's a super hard one, but just it's setting off this new, energy for the year ahead, especially with this being the lunar new year as well. Like there is this energy of an imprint being made here. Okay. So let's look at where the sun is. The sun is in gate 49. If you remember back to the astrology chart, that sun is in Aquarius. Okay. So sun in Aquarius is this energy, and 49, the gate 49 is the gate of the catalyst. I'm using quantum human design language. I sometimes play within different impressions of and ideas of language. I think it's going to evolve as you all evolve with me, but at the moment I'm using quantum human design. I love the language is softer, less harsh, whereas, OG HD can be really, really rough. So let's keep it not light and fluffy, but let's keep it, well, how can I understand this in a simple way without feeling like, what the hell? Okay. So the energy of the catalyst is like, there is a change a brewing. There's change happening. We are creating this cataclysmic shift, and something is being catalyzed. When we think about the moon being there and, the sun being there, that there is this something like igniting and lighting and taking off. What do we want that to look like? This is very tied to the emotional solar plexus. So it's this energy here of boom, I want to get this thing going, but it's about getting into the feeling of what it would feel like to get that going, because it is a very, very, very big emotional flood that's going to come through you. And you can see here, we're not going to really talk about defined, undefined, but like there is not a whole lot defined, which is like you are very familiar with this energy. It's very light in the physical body, but it's high in the spiritual centers. Okay, so it's the throat, the ajna, the head. Those who have this defined, it's an overworking up here. It's like it's just here. It's like the head can't connect to the body. So it is really important to try to be in your physical body while we are going through this transit and this energy. What do I mean by that? Get out walking, get in nature, put lotion on your body to remind yourself you actually have a physical body, because you may be playing things over and over and over and over and over again in your mind and driving yourself absolutely crazy. And literally people who have this defined head and ajna can sometimes feel crazy because they're always so up in their head and all of these things are constantly flowing through, and it can be overwhelming. So if it feels like that for you, get into the body, get moving, feel what it feels like to be alive in your physical vessel instead of, sitting in solitude and being running on a track. Okay. That's not going to be healthy or helpful for any of us. Now, how do you ground? Well, let me show you. The earth is in gate 4. Gate 4 is the gate of possibility. This is not the gate where you talk yourself out of things. This is the gate where you're like, ooh, what could be possible here for me? So if you're feeling like the walls are closing in, you're feeling like you're having a really hard time getting things going in your life, where are you crushing your possibility before it even gets a chance to lift off? That's what this gate, if you want to ground yourself even more, it's like, ooh, okay, what could be possible? And then let yourself go and explore Pinterest for ideas and make a Pinterest board. Go out and grab some physical magazines and rip pages out and actually make a vision board. What could be possible? Play in that space. That's what we're being encouraged to do, to ground. And that's a creative way for you to move the energy by being in possibility. The North Node is in the gate 51, which is the gate of impact, shock. It's kind of like puts us back on the track when we get lost or off track of where we're meant to be going. It's meant to realign you. Okay. So you remember Chiron and the North Node are going to be meeting up around the 16th of this month, and they are conjunct in the same gate. This is off the will center, right? This is where you could really be feeling like you got to force yourself to figure out, where am I going? What am I doing? Da, da, da. If you're doing that, deep breath, my friend, you won't figure it out from there. Please go to possibility and play in the space of what could be, as opposed to beating yourself up because you're not taking the action you need to be taking. This isn't the time for that. Okay. We're in a deep healing phase. Don't push yourself and hurt yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, my friend. All right. South Node here is in the gate 57, which is leaning into that instinct. This is the most intuitive gate in the entire human design chart. Really tuning into your intuition. You just have this wisdom. Projectors carry such a wonderful wisdom with you, and sometimes they don't remember how wise they are. But if we're all feeling into this energy, like we're trying on Projector aura for this new moon, right? So it's like, if I was super wise, what would my intuitive sense be around this thing? Play with that and see how it works for you, but don't rely on that. Lean into the excitement. We're always moving to the North Node. Like South Node is what we came in with, that is sort of, second nature to us. It's really easy for us. And you may be like, I don't trust myself. I don't trust my intuition, but you could lean into that and see what it feels like. And then get excited about what's to come, because there's always change happening. We've talked about the moon. Now let's talk about Mercury. Mercury is in Aquarius and he is in the gate 41. The gate 41 runs off the root center, and this is about your imagination. This is where you're planting the seeds for the beautiful things you would like to come into your existence. But there is an element of needing to feel safe, secure, and grounded on the earth to be able to even play in the space of that kind of a vision. So if you're struggling to feel grounded, safe, and secure in your body, bring in more red. Red is connected to the root chakra. So maybe you want to add a little bit more cinnamon to your foods over this next little period. Maybe you want to wear reds, beautiful red lipsticks, red, just incorporating reds into your life. Red foods, root vegetables will help you feel more grounded. I really think being grounded over this next little while is going to help you to be able to anchor in the vision, the imagination, and all those beautiful things. Now let's take it to Venus. Venus is, and I should say, Mercury is how we're communicating, right? He's the god of communication. Venus is about our ability to be in love, to have self-love for ourselves, our self-worth, our self-value. She teaches us what we're attracted to, how we attract those things to us. And she's playing up here in the gate 61, which is the gate of wonder. You see, there's a lot of energy encouraging us to think bigger, expand on what feels really small. Let yourself play. We don't do that enough. And we, for realsies, have this energy to play. Mars is how we take action. It's our masculine, it's where we're driven. And when we talk about masculine and feminine energy, we all have both. We all have both. If you are human, you're breathing, you have both of these energies. So finding the flow between when you take action and when you're in more of a receivership, which is that Venus energy, that's the dance and the balance that we all play all times, but you can't be only one all the time or only the other all the time, because it won't help you to bring in what you deeply desire. And Mars is down here in the gate 60, which is the gate of convergence. So he's like, focus your energy on what's working, not on what isn't working. So if you're trying to force something to work that's not been working or isn't going to work, you're going to lean out of that and into this beautiful energy of, okay, maybe now's not the time for me to push this thing forward. I'm going to get all my ideas and all the things starting and excited. I'm going to turn myself on. I'm going to flick the light on of excitement, but I'm going to wait here and focus on what is working instead of what isn't working for me. Because Pluto is also there with Mars right now. They're conjunct together. Okay. Now, let's move to Jupiter, because Jupiter is about expansion and he's in the gate 24. Gate 24 is also up here in the head. So it is so important. What you're thinking about is expanding tenfold, whether it's good or bad. This is why you must pay attention to those thoughts and quickly I'm going to edit that, shift them up. All right. Don't go into a shit spiral. Okay, my friends, there you go. Now let's look at Saturn. Saturn's in the gate 37, which is the gate of peace. Creating peace in your inner world will automatically create peace in your outer world. If you are having a Tasmanian devil moment inside, of course, your outer world is going to reflect the same thing. Somebody will cut you off. Someone will flip you the bird like this, so working on your inner game is going to save your existence, and making sure you're in your power, your confidence, and your ability to move things forward energetically. Remember, your energy walks into a room before you do. So whatever you're really focused on in that emotional solar plexus center, which is the most creative center, you can create feelings of inner peace and tranquility for some of you just by lighting your candle, right? Light your candle, draw your cards, sniff some essential oil, ask yourself to, I now call all of my energy back home, so that you're feeling like connected to yourself will transform the game for most of you. This is a practice. It's not something you do once and then you move on and you're like, I'm good to go. It takes time, right? No one wants to hear that, but it's the truth. 23, this gate 23 is up here. We call this 43 to 23 the freak to genius, because you get these freakishly awesome ideas and sometimes you speak them out before they're ready to come out. That's that Uranus action in Taurus. He's a little rogue here. He's a little crazy here. He's a little bit like really fun here. But sometimes it just needs some time to bake. And I remember I said this to the girls in my membership this week. It was like, when you're baking something in the oven, let's say like some beautiful muffins, right? It's 20 minutes. It's got to bake for 20 minutes. You do all the things, you put them in the muffin tins, you put it in the oven, you turn on the temperature, or let's say you already had it at temperature and you put the timer on. Okay. Well, your 20 minutes is up. You're like, damn, these things aren't cooked yet. Like, why aren't they cooked? This should have been the right time. Like, sometimes things take longer to bake. So there is this baking it in element that needs to happen. You never know who opened the door. Like maybe your kid opened the door, your partner opened the door being like, are these things ready yet? And that messed up the time, right? So the more we're influenced by outside things, it can also mess up the baking time, so the ideas that you're experiencing, these insights you're experiencing need baking time. So let it bake in. While it's baking in, explore what is around you, explore all of the things that are exciting you and turning you on and turning you up. Go and chase down those places. Okay. So in a nutshell, if I was just like to do a quick like synopsis of this energy, is that there is like So much room for you to be expanding and expansive, but it's not exactly fully baked in yet. So if you're spinning out feeling like you're missing something, oh my God, the planets are direct, I need to be, doing, going, you may just need a hot second to let it bake. And then when it's fully baked, you're going to be like, oh, I get it. Here we go. This is who needs my muffins, and you're going to have somewhere to take it. So just like enjoy the transformation you are in right now, because this is a once in a lifetime energy. Pluto in Aquarius is getting you to see things and experiencing things in a totally different way, as far as feeling safe and secure in yourself like you have never felt before. Okay, now I promised you that at the end of this video, I was going to go through each aura type and give you some ideas or ways to work and navigate through this energy of this particular new moon in Aquarius. So I got my beautiful notes here. If we're looking at manifestors, and I'm a manifestor, so hello, fellow manifestors, if you are here, this is really about, speaking your desires for peace into being. Okay, speaking your desires for peace into being, because you have that power. You are extraordinarily powerful. And sometimes you forget. So it's not really a time for you to be holding back the things you're experiencing and hearing, but actually feeling like this element of, where is peace being challenged for you? Where is your inner peace being uncomfortable? It's just, there's discomfort for you, right? And you're craving this element of peace, but there's this cataclysmic energy that needs to be moved, because you are helping. And of course, you're an initiator. You're here to initiate. Well, for those who are struggling and still baking things in, if you're ready to speak to your audience, to tell them where you're going, to tell them what you're doing, giving them an opportunity to jump on the train before it leaves the station, this is the time to do it. Don't wait. Say what you need to say. Say it in a way that is different. So if you have a normal way of bringing people up to speed on things, try a new flavor. Throw in a softer approach, a more peaceful approach instead of your usual approach, or maybe that is your usual way, but you've been hiding and you haven't really been saying or expressing yourself more authentically. Try it now. Try it now and see how that lands. Because you think about the wood dragon, being this wood dragon year, like, it is fiery. It is fierce. That beautiful dragon connects like the human world with the cosmic world, and there is this bridging of energies coming together. Now let's look at manifesting generators. I want to ask you straight up, are you tired? If you are a manifesting generator, you may have 1,000 projects on the go right now, and you're swirling out down all these different paths, and you're like overwhelmed. If you are feeling a sense of exhaustion and overwhelm, frustration, anger could be what's popping up for you. It's a beautiful time to lean into, all right, I've got 10 projects on the go right now. Of these 10 projects, which one is actually exciting you the most? Because if there's one that's exciting you more than the others, I recommend shelving the things that are not bringing you that spark or that excitement, because you may be wasting your precious time and energy on things that you are just no longer interested in. And that's okay. You can shelf them and go back to them. It doesn't mean you're shelving them forever. It just means you're putting them on the back burner for now. Okay. What else did I want to say about that? It's that, yeah, there's a sense of needing to feel electric. So for my MGs, under this new moon, this an electricity, you're just going to feel zzz, plugged in when you chase the thing that is most exciting for you. Okay. So if you're feeling tired, it's a time write the things out and look at them and be like, hey, of this list, what is actually turning me, into that electrified Energizer Bunny and what is not. If it's not just like back burner, back burner. I heard this wonderful thing ages ago called a parking lot, and where you write down all the things that are swirling out in your brain. This can be for everyone, but you write down all the things like you need to deal with your insurance, you need to update your wills, all the little dicky things that are driving you bonkers in the background, but you don't actually attend to them. You put them in the parking lot, and that way when you have extra time in your week, you're like, I'm gonna go to the parking lot, I'm gonna hit something off my parking lot. MGs, that's for you. Maybe you'll enjoy that, and anyone else who feels like they're in that position as well. Generators. All right. If you've been burning for change, this is your sign. This is the sign for you to light yourself up. Remember, I love to think of generators as the lighthouses of the aura types, where when they are turned on, they are a safe harbor, a safe haven for everyone else, because you carry this light that is so warm and welcoming and wonderful to be around that it just feels like people love being in your aura and your energy when you're feeling that. Now, when you are not feeling that way, it is like there are boats crashing into things and things crashing into you. And then you get real frustrated and you're like, nothing is working the way I want. Well, it is literally about you getting into that alignment and the energy for you of something that is just like you're becoming this masterful genius around. So if you are, feeling flat or frustrated or stuck, use your inner authority. And it's really important, of course, like this is a holistic aura sign chit chat, but however you are, whatever your authority is, you always have to check there first. So if you are an emotional whatever, then you got to ride that wave and let yourself take the time you need to get to your decision. So for an MG that is emotionally defined, like it may take you a while. Like, yes, you write out that list of things, but it may take you a little while to realize, well, what is actually, electrifying me? And for my generators, it's like, what do I want to go deeper into? What is calling my light and my internal flame towards it, where I can really become so masterful in this area. Like, I know this is my jam. I know I want to go here. Like, then you go down that road and you see what opportunities show up for you to respond to, right? You're doing work in the background, even if you don't have things to respond to. And if things aren't showing up in your life to respond to, you need to go in and fix your own energy. How do you fix your own energy? Well, what is lighting you up? No matter what it is in your life, if you're finding something that just like it lights you up from the inside out, your energy will shift, opportunities will show up, the right people will begin to show up in your outer environment. This also has a lot to do with your Venus, but okay, authority, there we go. Now, let's talk to my beautiful reflectors. This is about really leaning into your environment. You remember that you've got to go through your 28-day moon cycle. And there's this element of, how does my environment feel for me right now? Like, do I feel good? Do I not feel so good? And ask yourself if the people you've been spending the majority of your time with are maybe not your people for this season. I do think this electrifying energy, this next technological, it's a very new energy we're experiencing, and some people aren't up to that level, right? So if you're feeling like you're in an energy or an area in your life where the people aren't matching your magical frequency, find a new place to plug into. This can be a Facebook group. This can be following somebody on Instagram. That's going to shift your energy and really paying attention to your lunar rhythm. Now, moon is everything to you, and being aligned with the moon is such a game changer. I also wanted to share something exciting with you. I'm in a medical astrology course right now because I'm super interested in the body. And so for reflectors, this lunar conversation, and we're like in a lunar new moon, lunar conversation. This can be for everyone else as well, but for my reflectors, paying attention to the moon and your cycle. If you still have a period, if you're, someone who bleeds, then you will have a period. And the thing with your period is as soon as you get it, that's your new moon. Okay. That's your new moon. And you want to like really be in the masculine energy for those first 2 weeks at your first bleed. Okay. And then for the second 2 weeks, it's the receptivity phase. It's where like you're reaping the rewards of the work that you've been doing. So you're going to go hardcore into the community, and then you're going to take a little bit of a rest, right? Now, for those of you who don't have a cycle anymore, you don't have a period anymore, there is something wonderful you can start looking into. It's called a lunar, okay? It's your lunar cycle. And every single person has this. Male, female, bleeding, not bleeding. We have a lunar cycle. So this may be something for those of you who've had hysterectomies or anything like this. You can actually go and pull your lunar cycle and see when your new moon is. And when your new moon is, this is the reset time. This is a reset time every single month. So this may be more fun for you to track your moon through this new lens. Anyway, something to think about. I am here to initiate you into action, so you can go down that rabbit hole if you so choose to do that. That is it, everyone. Those are the energies of the aura types. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful that you shared your beautiful and magnetic energies with me. I want to invite you to come into my world, follow me on Instagram, listen to Lady Creators podcast. I'll link those down below. A lot of big things coming up. I'm really expanding the candle line and really moving into the pottery pieces that are going to bring you more beauty in your lives and help you kind of anchor in your magical cosmic energy. So maybe you want to book into a reading. I've got a special going on right now that will be to the end of February. It is a wonderful 45-minute like kickstart your life. Think of that, kickstart my life. What is that song? I can't remember. Anyways, so I'll put all of those down below for you. Thank you so much for being here. Happy freaking new moon and happy Lunar New Year to all of you. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. Take care, everyone. Until next time.